Welcome back to the Chattable podcast, where we learn real English in real life, enrich vocabulary, and feel proud. So, imagine turning down $3 billion in cash, just so you can stay in a room with people who actively want to destroy you.
I mean, that is definitely the kind of extreme high-pressure scenario we are looking at in today's episode.
Right, because today we are exploring the language of high-stakes survival. You know, those specific phrases native speakers use when they're navigating incredibly dangerous environments.
Exactly. Those phrases that usually surface when the pressure is just immense. We're looking at how people communicate when they're trying to survive a really cutthroat corporate culture, or, well, on the flip side, the language used when someone decides to warn society about a massive crisis.
It's all about the emotional weight behind the word.
Yeah.
And to start, I was reading this source about a guy whose parents really pushed him into finance. They wanted him working in big banks, managing massive portfolios.
Okay, so a very high-stress world.
Oh, extremely. And he did it for a few years, but he eventually quit. And the target sentence here is, he told people that working in those companies felt like swimming with the sharks, and the constant pressure just broke him down.
Swimming with the sharks. The visual there is just so striking. And, to really grasp why this phrase packs such a punch, we first have to look at the animal kingdom.
Right, the actual sharks.
Exactly, because sharks are apex predators. They are incredibly powerful. They are evolutionarily designed to constantly move forward.
And they have that famous ability to detect a single drop of blood in the water from, miles away.
Yes. Though, interestingly enough, real-world marine biologists will tell you that actual sharks rarely attack humans unprovoked. I mean, they're highly intelligent, selective hunters.
Right. They aren't actually malicious. We've basically taken the concept of a perfectly evolved marine predator and projected our own worst human traits onto it.
Oh, absolutely.
Greed, ruthlessness, the desire to destroy the competition just for sport.
That is a brilliant distinction. So the metaphor isn't really about the biology of the animal itself. It's about human toxicity.
Right.
When someone says they're swimming with the sharks, they're describing an environment filled with people who operate purely on self-interest.
The kind of people who would gladly sacrifice their colleagues or, their mentors or clients just to climb the corporate ladder.
Exactly. You have to constantly guard your own back, because the moment you show hesitation or weakness—
that proverbial drop of blood in the water.
Right, that drop of blood. The moment they see it, they will metaphorically eat you alive.
Wow. What really fascinates me is the physiological toll that takes on a person over time. I mean, the guy who quit finance didn't just leave because the hours were long.
No, of course not.
He left because of the atmospheric pressure. If you are swimming with the sharks every single day, your nervous system is basically trapped in a state of chronic fight or flight.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
And that chronic stress completely rewires your decision-making. You stop playing to win and start playing simply not to lose.
Every email feels like a trap.
Yeah, every meeting feels like an interrogation where someone is trying to steal your ideas or, throw you under the bus.
You just can't afford a moment of psychological safety.
Because the people around you are actively searching for your vulnerabilities. It's a total zero-sum game mentality. For them to succeed, you must fail.
So let's contextualize where this actually belongs in daily conversation, because misusing it can severely backfire.
Oh, definitely. You have to be careful.
Imagine a software developer who just joined an open source collaborative tech team. It's a really warm, nonprofit environment where everyone shares code.
A very supportive vibe.
Right. They troubleshoot bugs together, and the entire company culture is built on mutual support and transparency.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. So if that developer goes to a networking event and casually tells people, "Oh man, my new job is wild, I'm really swimming with the sharks," it completely misrepresents the situation.
It would be wildly insulting to their new colleagues. By using that specific idiom, the developer is implying that those supportive, collaborative programmers are actually toxic, greedy predators secretly plotting to ruin their career.
Which is the exact opposite of reality.
Exactly. The phrase demands the presence of real danger and cutthroat competition. You cannot use it to describe a workplace just because it's busy or fast-paced.
Right. Busy doesn't mean dangerous. A much better example of using it correctly from our sources involves Evan Spiegel, the founder of Snapchat.
Oh, this is a great example.
Yeah, so years ago, when Snapchat was still relatively new but gaining serious traction, Mark Zuckerberg offered Spiegel a multi-billion-dollar buyout to acquire the app.
$3 billion, right?
Yes. And Spiegel, who was in his early 20s at the time, looked at $3 billion in cash and just said no.
He walked away from generational wealth just to keep his company independent.
Right. And by rejecting that offer, Spiegel made a highly calculated, honestly terrifying decision.
He knew he was choosing to keep swimming with the sharks in the hyper-aggressive social media industry.
Exactly. He was intentionally staying in the same waters as massive tech giants who now had a vested interest in crushing his platform.
He looked at the predators circling his boat and decided to dive right back into the water.
Which is incredibly brave.
Yeah.
But, staying in those shark-infested waters eventually forces a moral dilemma.
How so?
Well, what happens when you see those sharks doing something that threatens people outside the water?
Oh, I see.
Like, what if they're hiding toxic assets or covering up a safety hazard? You can't just keep your head down and tread water forever. Eventually, the situation forces you to make a choice to warn people.
Which perfectly introduces our second phrase. We move from the language of internal personal survival to a completely different kind of high-stakes language, the phrase blow the horn.
Right, from internal survival to external societal action.
Exactly.
There is a great story from our sources about the environmentalist Bill McKibben. Back when he was a young writer at the New Yorker magazine, he started uncovering a lot of early scientific data about global warming.
Right. And learning about that alarming trend really paved the way for his whole career.
Yeah, the source says it paved the way for him to become an activist who now travels the world trying to blow the horn about the climate crisis.
Blow the horn. To really grasp the gravity of that phrase, we need to strip away all of our modern digital conveniences for a second.
Oh, like take it back to the literal history.
Right. Long before we had emergency text alerts on our phones or digital sirens, human beings relied on physical objects to communicate severe danger across massive distances.
Watchmen would use hollowed-out animal horns or, eventually large brass instruments.
Exactly. And think about the physical exertion that required.
Oh, yeah. You couldn't just casually type out a warning and hit send.
You need deep lungs, serious breath control, and actual physical effort to make that sound travel over the landscape.
Picture a watchman stationed in a tower above a medieval village.
Right, exactly. And if an invading army crests the hill, or a massive uncontrolled fire breaks out on the edge of the forest, they do not have time to run from door to door whispering warnings to individual families.
They grab that physical horn and blow it as forcefully as possible.
That deep, resonant sound cuts through all the daily noise in the village. It's a universal, undeniable signal that forces every single person to stop what they are doing and look up.
So in modern English, to blow the horn, metaphorically, means to loudly, publicly, and persistently raise the alarm about a hidden danger or a massive problem.
Yes, you are forcing an apathetic society to pay attention to an uncomfortable truth.
And the word persistently is crucial there.
Absolutely crucial. You're just mentioning a problem in passing during a staff meeting and then moving on.
Right, you're making it your central mission to ensure everyone hears the warning, even if they really want to ignore it.
It is the language of whistleblowers, investigative journalists, and dedicated activists.
Look at the example in the text about Greta Thunberg. She started skipping school to sit alone outside the Swedish parliament. She wasn't just writing polite, private letters to local politicians hoping they would read them.
No, she felt an absolute, urgent need to blow the horn on global government inaction regarding the environment.
So she created a public spectacle.
Yeah.
She basically picked up the loudest metaphorical horn she could find and just refused to put it down.
And, the sociological backlash of doing something like that is immense, which is why the phrase carries such heavy emotional weight.
Because when you blow the horn, you instantly make yourself a target.
Exactly. People who are comfortable with the status quo or the powerful entities causing the danger, they do not want that alarm sounding.
Right. Whistleblowers face massive retaliation, smear campaigns, isolation. It is an incredibly dangerous position to put yourself in.
You are sacrificing your own peace for the public good.
Let's test the limits on that, though. Does it always have to be a massive global crisis?
What do you mean?
Well, what if we are at the office and, I notice a coworker made a minor formatting error on a spreadsheet that is about to be sent to the accounting department?
Okay.
Can I announce to the room, hey, everyone, I need to blow the horn on this spreadsheet error before it goes out?
I would strongly advise against doing that.
Really? Why not?
Because using the phrase for something trivial makes you sound ridiculous and, frankly, a bit dramatic. If a coworker makes a minor spreadsheet error, The professional thing to do is to send them a private message or pull them aside quietly.
So I shouldn't shout it from the rooftops?
No, you whisper about the spreadsheet. You don't blow the horn.
I guess because blowing the horn implies I'm standing on my desk shouting to the entire floor, "Stop everything, the margins on page 2 are misaligned."
Exactly. It completely misjudges the scale of the problem.
Right.
It misjudges the urgency and the audience. The historical watchman didn't blow the horn because someone dropped a basket of apples in the town square.
Right. They blew it for invading armies and natural disasters.
The scale of the reaction must match the scale of the threat.
That makes total sense. Now, there is also a major linguistic trap here from the sources that trips up a lot of people if they aren't paying close attention.
Oh, the similar phrase?
Yes. You have to be incredibly careful not to confuse blow the horn with a very similar sounding idiom, toot your own horn.
They sound nearly identical, and they both involve making noise with a brass instrument, sure, but the core motivation behind each phrase is entirely opposite.
Right. Toot your own horn means to arrogantly brag about your own accomplishments.
Exactly.
Like if you spend an entire dinner party talking about how brilliant your investments are, or how you fast-tracked your recent promotion, and how you are clearly the smartest person in the room.
Then you are tooting your own horn.
And society generally despises that behavior, right?
Oh, absolutely. It breaks the unspoken social contract of humility. Historically, heralds and musicians would play horns to announce the arrival of royalty or important figures.
So if you are playing the instrument for yourself, you are demanding that people treat you like royalty.
Exactly. Tooting your own horn is viewed as inherently selfish and ego-driven. You are drawing attention to yourself purely for personal glory.
While blowing the horn is an act of social preservation, it's a public service.
The distinction lies entirely in where the metaphorical instrument is pointed.
That is a great way to put it.
Are you pointing it inward at yourself to demand praise, or are you pointing it outward at an approaching danger to save others?
One is an act of vanity, and the other is an act of bravery.
Exactly.
So take a moment to reflect on your own career and the different environments you have navigated over the years. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you realized you were swimming with the sharks?
Where the competition was utterly ruthless, the pressure was immense, and you had to be constantly on guard just to survive the workday.
Right, without having your ideas stolen or your reputation undermined?
Or perhaps you have found yourself in a position where you witnessed a systemic failure, like a toxic company policy, a highly unethical business practice, or a hidden risk to the public.
And you realized that someone needed to step up and blow the horn?
It takes immense courage to navigate either scenario. But having these phrases in your vocabulary really gives you the ability to accurately articulate the intense, often unseen psychological pressures of those experiences.
It really does. And if we bring these two concepts together, it leaves us with a rather profound dilemma.
Oh, this is the really interesting part.
Yeah. Imagine you are deep in a highly competitive, ruthless industry. You are exhausted, you are terrified of making a mistake, and you are officially swimming with the sharks.
Okay, setting the scene.
Right. But while you are navigating those dangerous waters, you uncover a massive problem that the public urgently needs to know about.
Right.
Does the sheer terror of that environment and the very real fear of being destroyed by those apex predators prevent you from blowing the horn?
That is the ultimate intersection of self-preservation and public duty. It's a tough question.
It really is. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode of the podcast. Keep practicing these phrases in your real life.
Definitely. Listen for them in business meetings, on the news, or in your favorite movies.
You are constantly expanding your ability to navigate the complexities of English, and you should feel incredibly proud of your progress. See you next time.